Hang on there, Ray. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a great baseball interview with a legend, a friend that I've known for many years. We have disabled the chat room because we want to have a great talk with a dear friend of mine. I want to introduce one of the legends in the game, an ambassador to the game, a man that knows this game inside and out. My dear friend, Mr. Ray Burris. Welcome to the show, Ray. It's I'm just so happy to see you. It's been a minute since we sat down and broke bread, man.
Yeah, yes, it is, Joe. It's been a few years, but it's good to see your happy face, my friend.
You
And
too, brother. I cannot believe how well you look, man. You look so good for it, and to think you could, my God, what's your secret?
my secret is just enjoying one day at a time.
That's it, and that's it. I
Enjoying.
remember Ray, and I know me and you talked about it back in 2000 when you were with the Tigers in the locker room. It was me, you, and Bull, and a couple other guys, and I think I was 14 years old when I first met you. It was back in 1980. You were pitching
Yes,
for the Mets,
yes,
and it was just like when we reconnected after your playing years and you became a coach. It was like we never had any lost time. I mean, it was one of the best couple years of my life to reconnect with you and Leon Bull Durham and some of the great other players that were on a lot of teams that I was, privileged to know and work with for over the years that I was in the game as myself.
well, that's
Um,
that's what friendships do, Joe.
you ain't
Friendships,
lying.
you don't lose time. You may, as far as the heart and the spirit and the feelings, you
Yes,
may lose time as far as connectability or fellowship time,
that's
but you
right.
don't lose times as far as that bond that was built many years ago,
That's right.
because you understand what was going on at that time. You
Right.
saw our work ethic. You saw the way we treated people. You
Right.
saw the way we came in to do our job day in and day out.
That's
Some
right.
days it was good, some days it wasn't. But
Right.
that didn't change who we were
No.
with each other. And that was
Yeah.
the beautiful thing of that era.
You know, one of the things I get, Ray, like I said, I started a podcast. My intentions were to do strict baseball interviews, and I was doing a prison podcast where I was interviewing people that were coming back into society that had spent some years and made some mistakes as youngsters.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
but look, I get this every day. People say that I never worked in baseball. I don't know no players. I never did this. What, you were just a bat boy. Why would players care about remembering you? And I'm like, do you guys have any clue what that job details? Ray, to me, I know who my friends are, and I consider you, like a brother, and I've always have.
Absolutely.
Can you just tell the folks how important the instrumental of each clubhouse person to a player is from the head guy all the way down to the kid that cleans the cleats and the shoes?
Well, the one thing about a clubhouse is just like your home.
That's right.
When you come in,
You there? It froze up, Ray. Mm-mm. You froze up, Ray. Can you hear me?
and even going all even going, yeah, I can hear you. Even
Okay.
going all the way back to the Mets in 1980. You came into the clubhouse uh, understanding that we were going to pick on you, we were going to have fun, but it was all part of the environment.
Yes.
It was all part of showing how much we cared about you as a person
That's right.
and as a young man. And, we were still young and
Yes.
paving our way along the way as well, but we didn't have the animosity to treat you bad.
That's
And
right.
and you did the job for us. If we said, okay, Joe, I need my shoe shine, then you shine your shoes, and then we took care of you individually
Right.
by way of tips
Right.
or by way of gift cards or different perks
Right. Yeah.
that we had, and that was what was so usual, was so beneficial. That's the word I want to use
Yeah.
in regard to the relationship. And you see, many years later, that relationship still is
Yes.
intact
Yeah.
because we understand
Yeah.
your heart, you understand my heart.
That's right. I remember, some of the greatest guys. I was fortunate to work in the visiting clubhouse in the era of the game in the late '70s through the '80s, which to me were the just the best years that produced a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of guys
Yes,
that lasted 13-year major league guys that put 21 years in, 25 years. You don't have that today. But one, the money
yeah.
stops that right off the bat. So
It's
I
a,
mean,
it's,
you guys would come into town, and and I know a lot of players would come in and say their favorite place to come and visit was Chicago. One, it was up. We had the catwalk. You guys would sign balls, mess around with the fans, throw autograph balls at them. You go out and get a couple. Send me down to get some popcorn. You
oh
just
yeah,
the jokes.
oh yeah.
I remember. I went on assignment. Do you remember Bobby Searles? Did you know Bobby Searles at all?
I did not know him personally. No.
Okay. Bobby came with the Phillies. He came over with the Dallas Green regime, and that was in '84. Dallas Green asked me. Bobby was getting old, and he wanted to have someone that was quite younger and ambitious like me to learn his trade. And he did the old 8 millimeter films, and then they went to the VH filming. But
Right,
they knew the future was going to be disc, and
right,
it was important for pitching coaches to take their young pitchers in there to show them their mechanics. The
right.
same with hitters. And I was going to go that route. And I remember we got a sign. They sent us down to see a young kid named Greg Maddox,
Yes.
and he was pitching against the big club as a triple. He was in A ball. They brought him up A ball to AAA to pitch against the Cubs, and he dominated the hitters like nothing. Next thing you know, the rest is history with him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, the thing with Greg Maddox, as a young kid, he threw pretty good. But
yeah,
the one thing that solidified his legacy was the movement he could put on the baseball
right,
and the command of
yes,
that movement. And when you look at his plight during his major league career,
right,
once he left the Cubs and went to the Atlanta Braves,
right,
this young man he just took it by storm, and the brilliance of him,
yeah,
little things that he could remember over a period of time,
right,
uh, and how he sit there in the dugout when he wasn't pitches and studied the hitters.
right,
So he had a game plan, and that's what you try to do with young people today is teach them that everything I do, there's a purpose. What is my purpose on this pitch? What is my purpose to get ready for this game? What do I do to prepare? It's no different than your show, Joe.
right,
You gotta prepare for the show.
right,
You gotta certain things you gotta do to get yourself ready. You
correct,
got you gotta contact the talent or the guest that you're gonna have on there, solidify that, let them know what time, send them the connectability
right,
information. So now all of that is part of preparation. Now you're ready to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And
yes,
so as a player or as somebody in life, you get up every morning, you go to work, you give 8 hours of work, you come
yeah,
home, you do what you have to do, and then you get ready to do it again the next day.
that's
And
right,
so that's life. Baseball for me was life. Baseball taught me several things: how to work with people, how to depend on people, how to trust people,
right,
how to believe in people,
right,
and how to communicate with people.
yeah,
That's life, Joe.
that's life, brother. Ray, I got a couple questions that I I I, I think you'll understand. Ray, when you look back on your time in the major leagues, what moment still gives you chills like it was yesterday?
The 1981 playoffs, when I was a member of the Montreal Expos,
I
pitching in
remember
the
that
National League Championship Series against Fernando Valenzuela.
strike year.
Strike year, 81.
That's right.
Strike year. I was with the Expos. We won the second half over the Cardinals. Phillies was leading the league when the
Yep.
strike occurred, so they were the first half winner.
Yep.
Went up against them. Steve Rogers pitched us into the National League Championship Series, and I go. I didn't pitch well against the Phillies in the divisional series, as they would call it. which is the best 2 out of 3.
Right.
Steve Rogers beat Steve Carlton twice in that divisional series, which put us in the championship series against the Dodgers, who had just beaten the Houston Astros.
That's right. Yep.
So I go up against Fernando Valenzuela in game 2 in LA. Bill Gullickson had started game 1 for us, and he lost. Well, we're down 1-0.
Right.
And I go up against Valenzuela, and after 9 innings, a complete game, 5-hit shutout, we even the series 1-1 with a 3-0 score against Valenzuela. Now, we go back to Montreal. Rogers pitched the third game. We win that. We go up 2-1. Now, it's the best 3 out of 5 at that
Right.
time, I believe. So Gullickson is brought back on 3 days rest, which was not a good idea.
No,
because we had proposition for Scott Sanderson to start game 4.
Right.
Have Gullickson start the next game, which would give him 4 days rest.
Right.
And I could go to the bullpen. If we get to the World Series, Steve Rogers could start game 1. If he wanted to start me game 2, I was fresh, or I could stay in the bullpen.
Right.
He didn't do that. Now, we lose. Now it's tied 2-2. It's a Sunday game. It's cold, rainy, and damp. Lo and behold, the game gets called.
Okay.
We start the final game on Monday. I get my 4 days rest. 8 innings later against Valenzuela, he and I are tied 1-1.
Oh my God.
Steve Rogers comes into the game, gives up the home run to Rick Mundy in the top of the ninth. We lose 2-1.
Man.
And wow. that opportunity, that experience for the first time in my career,
right,
was just so elating, so gratifying, so fulfilling, because you work for so many years in this game to get an opportunity to be in that moment.
That's right. That's right.
And here I was in that moment, and I was able to perform.
Yes.
In that moment. And
was Jim Fanning your manager?
Jim Fanning was the manager. Yeah. They had fired Dick Williams.
That's right.
When we came back, and Jim Fanning was made the manager.
That's right.
And I give a lot of kudos to Larry Parrish, because Larry Parrish carried us in the month of September that year.
LP, yep.
LP carried us in the month of September.
LP, boy, he was something else, wasn't he?
Yeah. LP was a good man.
He was a good man.
All the years he won the International League Championship at Toledo for the Tigers with Leon Durham as his hitting coach.
Yeah, that's right.
They were a good tandem. But that was my most elating moment. Now, my most gratifying moment, Joe, was every day I had the opportunity to put that uniform on.
That's right.
And represent me, my family, the Chicago Cubs, or whoever I was playing for, the game of baseball.
That's right. I mean, that's how it was. I mean, I felt the same way. I was a 13-year-old kid that got blessed to be brought into the clubhouse around some of the great. I adored the game. I played the game. I didn't have it enough to make it, but I got the next best thing. I spent all the years, even though after I left the big leagues in '86 and went on to a different pasture and then found myself back in the minor leagues. But the minor leagues is where I learned the grit, the grind, how to run a locker room, how to deal with spring training with 240 players.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I would never trade that for anything.
A lot of life lessons there, isn't it?
A lot of life. I got to have my sons work with me, taught them the business.
Yeah.
It just, to me, the memories I have, and I still pretty close with about a dozen people since I started in the game. You being one of them, that we talk as much as we can.
Yes,
but
sir.
It's like there's nothing they wouldn't do for me or nothing I wouldn't do for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what life's about.
Exactly.
Let me. You played through some major shifts in baseball. How did the clubhouse culture evolve during your career?
The clubhouse culture evolved during my career in a number of ways, and I'm gonna start with diet, cuisine.
Yes.
When I first started in the early '70s,
you were drafted in '72, correct? 17th round.
'72, out of college, out of Southwestern Oklahoma State College. There was no meals provided in the clubhouse.
PB and
None,
jelly, baby.
none at all.
Yeah.
None at all. And if we had, when I got to the big leagues, double headers were scheduled on your schedule.
Right.
Double headers occurred during the holidays.
Yep.
Mother's Day, Father's Day,
Right.
4th of July, Labor Day, all of those, Memorial Weekend.
Yep.
There was double headers. Sometimes you'd have the father and son game or the daughter and son game before the game.
Yep.
All of those were part of the game when I started in the early 70s. After that, clubhouses started to change.
Yep.
Clubhouses provided meals,
Yep.
breakfast, after game meals, pre-game meals. If it was a day game, there was breakfast provided. If it was a night game, there was food before the game. Then there was a meal after the game.
Right.
You tipped the clubby for the meals.
Right.
The clubbies had a certain allowance per day that every player had to tip.
Right.
That also included washing the uniforms, cleaning your shoes, hanging your uniforms up
Right.
in your locker room. Now that was all there when I first started.
Right.
But meals was added as we went along.
Right.
Now you had clubhouse guys being able to make a real good living
Oh yes.
because of that.
Yes.
And then all of that was taken away because
Just recently, wasn't it?
yes, sir. This was like what 2019 or 20.
Yeah, right before the pandemic, I believe it happened.
And the clubs took that on themselves. They took
Right.
that burden on themselves to provide meals for the players, minor leagues and major leagues.
Yeah.
And what was happening was they were giving meal money to the players. Some of the players were taking the money and sending it home and were not eating very good.
Right.
And so they decided to take on that responsibility financially
Right.
and personally to make sure their players were getting the right nutrients.
Yeah.
Then dietitians came into the game.
Yep.
Then mental skills came into the game.
Yep.
And and then analytics came into the game.
Right.
So there was a lot of transitions that started to happen that brought on a whole new set of challenges
Right.
in regards to performance,
Right.
staying healthy, and being able to have longevity.
Correct.
And so with that, I didn't have all of that when I started.
Right.
I had my own game plan. I had my own routine,
Right.
and I stuck to that routine and added as I went along to
Right.
keep fine tuning it. So I saw a lot of transitions during my career
Yes.
from a standpoint of clubhouse environment.
Right. Yeah.
Now the game didn't change.
No.
Thank goodness. You still had to outscore the opponent.
Right. That's right.
The game didn't change.
We got to score runs. You got to outscore the opponent. That's for
You got to
sure.
score runs.
That's
you know?
right.
So a lot of details of playing the game changed.
Yeah.
The clock, the turning double plays at second base, the catcher giving access to the runner scoring from third.
Yep.
Now they can tap their helmets and have a check of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Okay. The pitching coach only has so many visits to the mound. You can only throw to first base so many times.
Yeah.
It's changed.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, I think it's tough.
Yeah.
I think it's tougher today on athletes than it was when I played.
Yeah. I agree. For me, I remember getting sat down by the assistant general manager of Texas Rangers. When I went full time with the Texas Rangers,
Yes, sir.
and we had a meeting. And this was when Buck Showalter came over. And Buck, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot of things from Buck Showalter as a manager.
Yes.
How his style was. He was all business. If you were capable of doing whatever job you did that pertained to player development, and you did it well, you were okay in his book. But if you were he didn't put up with no nonsense. And but he had a different way. He was a guy that believed in bringing it from his own, developing from the organization. He didn't like veteran guys.
Right.
He didn't like guys clowning around. He didn't like a lot of the Latino players that were making big money, that were flashy. Guys walked up like Alex Rodriguez, in suits that were kind of flashy color, and told him, "You ain't getting on my plane with that." That's how that whole thing happened when Alex had to start taking his own private jet to fly on the road because he refused to change his suits. And it was a big mess. And Showalter was a guy that it was his way or no way. He had to have total control.
Right.
And but when they sat down and said about what you were saying about the nutrition, and it was true at AAA. When you get to AAA, you want to give the players a good taste of what the big leagues can be, but you don't want to overstep because you want them to enjoy the fruits when they get there. Because the big leagues is like going from AAA to the big leagues. That's like you know what it's like. I know what it's like.
Absolutely.
It's the biggest.
There are some clubhouses in the minor leagues right now that look like the Taj Mahal.
I'm telling you.
What incentive would I have to get to the big leagues?
Exactly.
When I got the Taj Mahal
exactly
in low A or double A or even triple A.
Exactly.
And the money I'm able to make,
right,
even at those levels, is very can be very comforting.
Yes.
And can give you a comfort zone. You know,
right.
I was in double A. I was making $500 a month.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, $500 a month.
Right.
And that was getting paid twice a month, $250 twice a month. When they took out everything at that level,
right.
I was making $201. That's what I was taking home every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I had to buy food. I had to pay rent.
Right.
And I just so happened to have a teammate of mine by the name of Jim Tyrone who took me in, and I paid my rent by cooking for him.
Oh, there you go. That's a good trader because I know you can cook. So
you know I can cook.
I know you can cook, so I know that to be fact.
So he had a 1-bedroom apartment. I was sleeping on the sofa in Midland, Texas, and cooking for him, and driving and doing errands for him.
Yeah,
that's how I paid for my rent. I was happy to do that.
Yeah,
because that didn't bother me at all, and still was able to have a 75 record. My first year in 2012, I started in minicamp in Bradenton, Florida. Got sent to Double A, met the club in Little Rock, Arkansas. Finished 75. Got invited to big league camp in 73 as a non-roster player, and made the major league club out of spring training.
Yeah, you moved pretty quick when you signed in 72.
You were 2 months in the minor leagues, and I was in the big leagues as a 17th round draft choice.
Yes, you were. You definitely were very impressive as a young man that came out. And you come from a small town, didn't you? You went to a pretty small town in one of my favorite states of most friendliest people in the world. I mean,
a little town called Hollis, Oklahoma, which is in the southwest corner of the state of Oklahoma, near Amarillo, Texas.
Yep.
That's where I came from.
Yep.
And we were sharecroppers. I grew up on the farm, so I knew and had no fear of hard work. I embraced and honored hard work. That was no issue for me at all.
Right.
And so, with that understanding, it was nothing unusual or uncomfortable for me to put in a good day's work on the pitcher's mound.
Of course.
I felt if I had stuff still left in my body, I didn't go at it the way I needed to go at it.
Right.
I wanted to come off that mound knowing that I have nothing left.
That's
however long that was my approach to the game of baseball.
Yeah. You know, I got a lot of stories. I'm writing a book, but you know, I would never break the sanctity of the bond I had with players. There's a lot of stuff that I can't talk about that just stays in the clubhouse. But there was a lot of good things that I can talk about. Some of the good times and how players, just the general. I mean, I tell people Bill Madlock would come in and play the Cubs every morning, give me a $50 bill. Yum Yum Donuts used to be right out front. He wanted orange juice, scrambled eggs, 6 cinnamon rolls. Keep the change every morning. That was Bad Dog. Every morning. Here you go.
Bad Dog.
It's like clockwork.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got. I mean, I tell these guys at 13, I had to juggle. I had a dry cleaner in my pocket. Players come in, they need your Supra. I made sure the players didn't need to ask for anything. If I saw a guy come in, you need a dry clean, I just hustled. It was a hustle and bustle game. Right. And the players, like you said, they would love to play jokes on you. They would, they would. Bobby Welch. I don't know if you ever get to know Bobby Welch.
I didn't get to know him personally.
Oh, what a character! I had a lot of fun time with Bobby Welch, and working to visit his team like Neil Allen. I hung out with him as a teenager. You know, I used to go down and meet these guys. Come out, they take you out to dinner. But I met all these guys years later. You as a coach, I saw Bull when I walked in that room. It was you and Bull. I swear to God, I thought I was a kid all over again. I said,
No,
God,
you
there's
were.
Ray Burris and Leon Bull.
You were a kid all over. You come running up and hugging us and
Oh
everything.
my! I couldn't believe it. And Bull, we know Bull.
What did Bull call you?
Yeah, now, let's get to that real quick. So we're in spring training, you, me, and Bull, and Davey Owens, I think, just came over. Didn't Davey Owens come over?
Dave Owens that just came over. Yes.
So Bull sees me pull up one morning. I pull up on my Crown Vic, and I was gaining some weight. I had some weight. I was living healthy, and Bull cracked and called you. I think he called you to the door. I was walking in the club. He goes, "Look at it. What did he call me?
Columbo.
Frank Cannon.
Frank Cannon.
That's Frank Cannon. Look at him." And I called Bull. I talked to him today on his birthday. I go, "It's Cannon." He goes, "Frank, what are you doing, baby?" And Bull he goes, "I'm just enjoying my grandbabies, man." He goes, and Bull was one of my favorite people. I had a lot of good times with him.
Yeah, Frank Cannon. That was your nickname in the clubhouse.
And there she is.
That's it.
Oh, you can see me?
Yeah.
I can see you. How are you? It's been a long time.
I'm trying to see who this is.
It's been a long time.
This is Joe. This is Frank Cannon.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could see me, and I'm like,
Yeah. We met back in spring training a few times.
Yeah, I just told him, I said, you need to play a little quieter with your friends. So I'm going to close the door here.
She's still keeping you on your toes, Ray. That's good.
I'm telling you, every day.
Good to see you.
Every day. So that was what Leon Durham nicknamed you, Frank Cannon.
Yeah, Frank Cannon, boy.
Oh yeah.
I called him. I go. How's Angela doing? He goes, she's doing good. I got her picking up. I got a granddaughter coming in on this one. He goes, I'm just busy with all the grandbags. I go, that's the best, man.
Yeah.
Bull was. What can you say about Bull? He was Bull.
Bull was real.
He was real.
He didn't pull no punches.
He did not. And he's enjoying retirement. He finally got. I remember players wanting Bull. Bull got a lot of hitters in that tag organization that preferred him to be the big league hitting coach, and he worked with a lot of guys in off season. And Bull, he was good at his job as you were as a pitching coach.
Absolutely.
In your career, Ray, you got to play with some teams. You played with the Cubs, the Mets, the Expos. You also played for the Yankees.
Yes, sir.
Was Thurman Munson there when you pitched?
Thurman Munson was there when I pitched, and I was there when we lost Thurman Munson.
Okay, so I wanted to touch a little bit about what was Thurman Munson like? I never met him. I heard a lot of great things about him. They said that if he would have been able to have the career and it was around to have the career that he would have been the best of the best. What was he as a catcher to a pitcher like you?
He was mentally strong. Thurman knew how to get the best out of you. He understood what pitches you commanded better than others, but he understood pitch sequencing. And when I say pitch sequencing, that means if I'm facing, let's just say, Eddie Murray from the Orioles.
Yep.
Eddie Murray's a switch hitter, so obviously he's going to be hitting left-handed off of me.
Yep.
Eddie Murray had tendencies. And when I got to the American League on May 23rd of 79, that was the day that I was traded to the Yankees.
Yep.
I joined the club in Minneapolis, and my first game was in Cleveland. And Thurman come up to me and said, he goes over my pitches. I tell him, here's I rated my pitches. My best pitch, fastball. I was a sinker slider guy.
Right.
Second best pitch, slider. Third best pitch was changeup. Now, that could change on any given day based on your delivery and how I was throwing the baseball. But Thurman took that information and he knew the hitters better than I because I'd been in the National League all my career.
Right.
So I relied on Thurman to direct me through each hitter because he knew I could throw strikes. That was not an issue for me. That's how I got to the big leagues with two months in the minor league. So I enjoyed his tenacity behind the plate. I enjoyed his competitiveness behind the plate.
Yeah.
He didn't have the strongest arms like Pudge Rodriguez.
No.
He didn't have that kind of arm or some of the other good catchers that had those good arms.
Right.
But he was quick and accurate, and that's all that counted.
Yeah.
Yeah, good footwork. So I enjoyed the short time I had to pitch against him. At that time, we had Jerry Narin as a backup catcher.
Jerry Narin, yep.
And we also had another good catcher that most people don't realize. Cliff Johnson was an excellent catcher.
I remember Cliff. I remember he was 30. I remember him. Yep.
But he just didn't want to catch.
Right.
He just wanted to hit.
Yeah.
Cliff walk around with his bat in his hand. He
Sure.
ready and swing it. So Thurman brought a leadership to the pitching staff.
Right.
Thurman brought a leadership to the game as we played.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, my friend, for a young man to spend his off day going back to Canton, Ohio to learn how to fly so he could spend his off day with his family and be able to go home quicker, that says a lot.
It does. I heard he was outstanding in the locker room. His presence, everything.
Outstanding. Knew the game, knew the players, knew the pitching staff, and would talk to you all the time. Talk to you. And that's what I liked about him. He wanted to get an understanding on how I thought,
right,
what made me click, so he could uncover those qualities when I came into the game.
That's right.
And that's what good catching is all about to me.
That's right. Now, Ray, you've had I think you've had did Carter catch you? Ever catch you?
Carter caught me in Montreal.
Yes. Another great catcher.
I had Randy Hundley in Chicago.
That's right.
I had Steve Swisher, George Middlewall.
Yep.
I had Mike Heath.
Mm-hmm.
I had John Stearns.
Mm-hmm. I remember Johnny Stearns. Yep, Johnny Stearns, catcher for the Mets. Yep.
I had Bobby Ramos in Montreal. He was a backup catcher to Gary Carter. I had Ted Simmons in Milwaukee.
Oh, tough guy. Ted Simmons. That was a rock of a catcher right there.
Now, you're talking about a smart guy.
Ooh.
Ted Simmons was smart behind the plate.
Yes, he was.
Very, very smart.
Yes.
And in St. Louis, I had Pudge. Not Pudge Rodriguez.
No.
Pudge.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what we call him, Pudge.
Pudge, yeah.
And I've seen him many times. So I got a chance to. Bill Schroeder was it?
Bill Schroeder. I remember Bill Schroeder.
He's now announcer for the Brewers. So I've had a lot of catchers.
Yes.
But they all helped me in their way of going about the game and playing the game. And it got to a point of where I could call my own game.
Yes.
I didn't have to reach in my back pocket and pull out a scorecard and say, okay, this is what you throw here. I was my own defensive coordinator. Yes. If I had Matlock at third base or UB Brooks at third base,
right,
I would tell them play deep. I got the line if he bunts. Right. And I would say it loud enough where the hitter could hear me because I wanted him to challenge me. Sure. I wanted to show my athleticism.
Exactly.
Outfielders, I had a way of moving them around, the whole works. And so we played the game with our mental capacity. We played the game with our mental intellect. Yes. We took notes. We remembered how this guy approached me the last time I faced him. I remember what adjustments I needed to make. And the one thing you learn in athleticism and in athletics, and just in life itself, Joe, we are great compensators.
Yes.
The human being is a great compensator.
Yep.
And athleticism is no different in that. You gotta adjust.
That's right.
You say. And so,
key word, adjust. That's a key word.
And I learned that through the pitcher's mound.
Yep.
I learned those little qualities, and I still use them in my life every day.
Yeah. Ray, who was some of the toughest for you? Who were the most notorious hitters that you did not want to face that gave you probably a good run for your money when you pitched?
Well, I had a few. I'm gonna share some things with you.
Okay.
I have a list of stats that I pulled up.
Okay.
The hitter I faced the most was Mike Schmidt.
Schmitty,
Hall of Famer. And I got this off of Baseball Reference.
Okay.
I faced Schmitty 94 times. Walked him 16 times. He had 77 official at-bats with 16 hits, 3 doubles, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, 16 base on balls, 24 strikeouts for a batting average of 208.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Larry Bohr was next. Okay. Then Tim Foley, Darrell Evans, Greg Luzinski. Larry Parrish, Omar Moreno, Pete Rose. Faced Pete Rose 75 times. He had 66 official at bats, 16 hits, one double, one triple, two home runs, 6 RBIs, 8 base on balls, 4 strikeouts for 242 batting average against me.
Yeah. Will you say Pete was one of the toughest guys to strike out?
Pete was tough, but see, you had to pitch Pete inside.
Yes, you did.
He didn't like it inside.
No.
And I could pitch inside.
That's right.
Now the guy that wore me out was Hank Aaron. He went 4 for 5.
Wow.
4 for 5 with a grand slam.
What a name, Hank Aaron.
So
wow.
you do the math on that one, right?
Yeah.
I faced 25 Hall of Famers.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
25 Dave Parker, who just went into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hit 333 off of me. 64 plate appearances, right? He had who was Parkway? He had 64 plate appearances, 19 hits, and 57 official at bats.
Wow.
He had 5 doubles, no triples. He had 11 RBIs. He had 333 off of me.
But Parkway was a powerhouse, man. Yeah. To me, probably the third best arm for a right field I've ever seen in a game. I got to give it to Clemente is probably the best, but Parker was in the top 3 for me. That's for me, my opinion on that one.
Yeah. Another guy that hit me pretty good was Dave Kingman.
Kingman? Really?
Kingman had 66 official at-bats and 72 plate appearances, 20 hits, 3 doubles, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs, 5 base on balls, 20 strikeouts for a 303 career average off of me.
He struck out a lot. He was either hitting a home run or he struck out. That was
exactly. But the thing about for me, Joe, I wasn't concerned about putting the ball in play because I was concerned about putting it in play early and often.
Sure.
My analytics was put it in play within the first 3 pitches you throw. That keep my defense sharp and on their toes.
Exactly.
And it gets my offense into the dugout.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to give up a lot of hits. What I don't want to do is give up a lot of base on balls.
Right.
Right. So, I faced Bill Matlock. Bill Matlock hit 359 off of me. Okay. But here's what he did. He had 39 official at bats with 14 hits.
Right.
Okay. But do the math on there.
Right.
There was 25 times I got him out.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I say you're exactly right. I wanted to ask you something about the Cubs lost the last couple of days a guy that to me was probably one of the most fine-tuned players to the game that anybody could be. How serious he was.
Yes.
He was first one at the ballpark, last guy to leave.
Yes.
Never. If there was 100 kids out there, he signed everything for them.
Yes.
Rhino Sandberg.
Yes. Rhino was a consummate professional.
He was.
Played the game the right way because he was taught the right way.
That's right.
My first experience with Ryan Sandberg was 2008 in the Arizona Fall League. He was the hitting coach for the Mesa Solar Sox. I was the pitching coach, and he was. We went to the championship of that Arizona Fall League and lost to Phoenix.
Yep.
And then I continued to be good friends from that day on. Every time I ran into him, it was a great loss. He fought to the end, and that was the way he played the game.
That's right.
And so we lost a true individual, and young.
65. It's
and young.
Yeah.
That's way too young.
Yeah. It's I put on 85 pounds in the last 2 years. I was declared morbidly obese, and I'm fighting to lose the weight because my heart got enlarged. My heart's got what's it called, sweetheart? It's called what's it? The systolic part of my heart is not pumping properly, and and all I got to do is eat healthier and lose the weight, and
that's it.
and that's what I'm working on every day. So it's been a struggle for me.
Look up soluble fiber, Joe,
Okay.
and it's portions.
Yes.
Yeah, it's portions. Soluble fiber that'll help tremendously.
Thank you, Ray. Ray, you are probably one of the greatest guys to be an ambassador. And what are you doing today in the game? I know you had mentioned to me you're doing work with the Cubs, I believe, the Yankees, and the Mets, I believe.
Yes, sir.
What,
I'm doing ambassadorship camps. I go to Chicago when the Cubs are in town and visit the suites
nice.
and talk baseball and take photos, sign autographs, and just have a good time with the fans.
That's awesome.
And as an alumni of the Cubs, I do camps down in Tampa here for the Yankees, and I'm looking to do some fancy camps for the Mets going forward. But I also do one-on-one instruction here
Yes.
in Clearwater.
Right.
I do one-on-one personal instruction. I do one-on-one Zoom and virtual instruction.
Yeah, I saw your website. It's pretty impressive.
And I do Cameo request.
Oh, nice.
Which is really fun.
That's fun, yeah.
People, well, they go to www.cameo.com and look up Ray Burris and
shout out for someone in their family or a friend or something.
Absolutely. You know, my last Cameo request, I had to sing the Chicago song. Go, 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 go.
You remember Ronnie, the guy with the boxing gloves at the bleachers?
Oh yeah, yeah. So
go.
They were an avid Cub fan, and Ronnie Woo Woo, you know,
Ronnie Woo
Woo Woo. But it was, you know, and singing Happy Birthday and doing motivational sayings and stuff, and I enjoy that because Joe, there's a connection.
Yes,
I enjoy the connection with people, with fans.
You always did. You always did.
You know, that enjoy or have a remembrance of you when you played, or know of you, or realize that you played for their favorite club.
Yes.
That's a connection, and that's what makes it so therapeutic for me as a former player.
Yeah, I agree. I will, like I said, to me, you're just one of the greatest guys that I've ever got to know. You've always been a good friend. You've always, every moment I got to share with you privately or out on the town, it's just been perfect. We broke bread a few times.
Yes.
When you were done playing and you started coaching, how did being a coach with some of the young kids today versus when you came up? You got to say that the players were all different mentally. How important to you was to teach them? It's just not about throwing the ball. I mean, there's a lot of process. You know, guys don't realize it's a process to go from signing to each level, to get yourself how to talk to the media, how to carry yourself in public. There's just so many. How important it is to get along in the clubhouse with your teammates, you know. And the minor leagues are tough. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of young clubhouse guys that don't have a clue, and there's a lot of good guys out there that are in the minor leagues that deserve to be in the major leagues. But because you know how it's a clout game, you know how it is. Yes. You got to know people. But how important was it to you when you were a pitching coach? What was the number one? Give me 3 of your pet peeves that you taught your pitching staff that you felt that was going to carry them into some careers that could be very good for them.
Well, the 3 things, the 3 pet peeves that I had to deal with was confidence, work ethic,
right,
and taking on accountability.
Right.
Those are the 3 pet peeves that I had. In other words, I give up a home run, I don't blame the catcher.
No.
You threw it. Okay? Take accountability.
That's right.
Take responsibility. Work ethic. Get out there and do your work. You need your legs to give you stamina, endurance.
Right.
You got to do your work. Put your work in. Okay?
Right.
And then preparation. You got to come to the ballpark ready to play.
That's right.
Every day.
That's
and
right.
that starts with rest, hydration, diet,
yes,
and What are you going to do to get your body ready to repeat your
Right.
delivery?
That's right.
Now, with that said, once you do that, then you have given yourself a chance to be successful.
Right.
Here's where the challenge comes in, Joe. As a coach, I got to help that young person understand. I got to help that mind understand that everything I did was correct.
Right.
Prepare myself to compete. But that other person on the other dugout did the same thing too.
Correct. That's
So
true.
now, if I made adjustments during the course of that game, and I was ahead of the game, and I understood where that tendency was for that hitter, what was his strength, what was his
Right.
weakness. Now I got to be able to make that pitch to his weakness, and at some time I got to go my strength with his strength. Meaning, if he's a low ball hitter, I'm a low ball pitcher. I'm
Right.
coming down in the zone.
Right.
He's about to hit it.
Yeah.
And I believe, I got to believe that this pitch is going to give me the results I'm looking for, and that's an out.
That's right.
That's an out. Now, here's where the challenge comes in. The challenge comes in my opinion, from a pitching standpoint or a playing standpoint. What routine am I taking to the plate? What approach am I taking to the pitcher's mound?
Right.
If I'm just going out there throwing the ball and trying to throw it as hard as I can, but I don't know if it's going over the plate, what is that going to give me on a regular basis?
Right.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Right.
Not a lot. So I got to know when I throw that ball, it's going where I need it to go.
Right.
Now, there are certain parameters that will help in that process that I teach or is taught in that arena.
Right.
Okay. So with that said, I also got to understand and build up in that mindset that I'm talking to.
Right.
Trust. I got to build up trust.
That's right.
I got to build up that what I'm saying to him, I'm not BSing him.
Right.
I'm saying to him, it's not what he wants to hear.
Right.
What I'm saying to him is what he needs to hear.
Yeah.
Now, he's either going to accept that, he's going to either embrace that,
Right.
or he's going to run away from that.
Right.
Now, as you said something a few minutes ago, being a good teammate is the first thing you look at as a teammate. If you're not a good teammate, if you're a terrible teammate,
right,
and I'm talking about 9 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
You're on a team and you're a terrible teammate. Don't nobody want to be around you.
No, I was at Double A in 2006, and we had a bunch of good guys, but we had one or two guys that just they wanted to do it their way. And I had Gary Jones as the manager. I don't know if you get.
I know Gary Jones very well.
Yeah. Gary and I very close, and we had that was probably the toughest year stat wise and record wise I have ever seen in the game in all my years. And he used to tell me, because he used to get fired up. He said, "Go get them, tell them they better be sitting at their lockers and they better not be talking." He'd come in, and the first thing he did, because they'd be chattering that we lose 5 in a row, and they're like thinking it's a joke. And he'd come in, he says, and he'd look at me, he goes, "Don't be mad at me for this." And I go, "I already knew." I would put out nice spreads. It was, "You want to eat dinner?" He threw the whole thing on the wall there, clean it up off the floor, like the way you guys been pitching. Absolutely. And I tell you what, he made those guys sit there for an hour, and he drilled them. And the disrespect some of them were to all the staff, it blew me. To me, that's when the turning point for the game, because they approach a lot of clubhouse guys, and like Paul Barrett, who was with the Phillies for a lot of years. Those were all old school guys. You had Little Harry, you had Paul Barrett. These were guys that were in their 70s that were in the game, and it was they ran the locker room, but players respected them. You know, they taught them how to carry themselves. And Paulie was one of my greatest mentors. And even though he was a dinosaur in today's game, when they sat me down, they said, "Listen, we're not questioning your work ethics. You're one of the best in the business. Can you adjust? Can you make the change to the way the game is changing with the players today?" And I point blank, and I asked him, "Well, explain it to me in the detail." And I said, "If you're saying about giving players control of the locker room, to me, being old school with Yosh Kawano as a teacher and guys like that, I'm going to say I'm going to retire, because you're making the biggest mistake of your life if you do that to younger players. You can't give them that control."
Well, what is control? What control are you giving them? You got to look at the dynamics of that.
Yeah.
When you look at control, all right, it's no different than leadership.
Right.
Leadership is to have an atmosphere
That's right.
of competitiveness,
That's right.
and sometimes having the ingredients
Right.
of respect
Right.
for the game,
Yes.
for the locker room,
Most important, the
for
game.
your teammate, for your coaches,
Right.
for the game of baseball.
That's right.
You're not gonna go in there and act like you're on crack cocaine.
Right. Right.
You're going to show respect
That's
by
right.
your demeanor,
That's
by
right.
your response.
That's right.
You're going to carry that, and when people look at you, they're going to say, "Man, there's something about that guy. I don't know what it is, but
Right.
man, I just want to watch him. He just goes about it the right way.
That's right.
I never see him throw a bat. I never see him throw a helmet. I
Right.
never see him show the umpire up. I
Right.
never see him show his teammates up. If a teammate makes an error as a pitcher, I'm
Right.
going to build that guy up.
Right.
Hey, Joe, come on. You're going to be all right. Get ready for the next one, man.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
That's right. That's what it was about.
I'm not going to sit there and throw my hands up in the air. What the heck going on? That's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
It is. It is.
Who feels the worst? The person who made the error.
That's right. That's right.
And I'll tell a lot of pitchers that I work with, Joe, you ever see an umpire hold his hand up or give you a harsh laugh when you give up a home run?
Yeah.
No. He gets another ball and give it to the catcher and
That's
throw it
right.
to you, or he throws it to you himself. Let's go.
That's right.
That's baseball.
That's right. I was just thinking about your 81 season with the Expos, and you had one of the best outfielders in the game. You had Rock Raines, you had Cromartie, and you had Dawson. You had some of the greatest
Yeah.
outfielders in the game.
Yeah, some good outfielders there. And when I got there, Ellis Valentine had
That
been
was a long
traded.
time. Yep.
Ellis
That's right.
Valentine had a better arm than Dawson and Rock Raines.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
Ellis Valentine had a cannon. I'm
You're
telling you.
right about that. I mean,
But when I got there in '81, you had Cromartie, Dawson, Raines. We moved Cromartie to first base,
I remember that.
and we put Jerry White and Roland Office platoon in the outfield because Jerry White was a switch hitter. Roland Office was a left-handed hitter.
Right.
You had LP, Larry Parrish at third,
That's right.
Chris Spire at short,
Right.
Rodney Scott at second, Gary
Right.
Carter behind the plate.
Right.
Our starters were Steve Rogers, Bill
Gullickson.
Charlie Lee,
Yep.
David Palmer, Scott Sanderson, myself.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Some great pitchers, and Sanderson played with the Cubs. He played for the Cubs for some years.
Yes, he did.
Car-
And then we lost him.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And Carter, I thought the world of Carter was always happy. A lot of guys got resented at. He was always happy about everything. Nothing bothered him. But he was a Christian man. He
Yeah.
loved his family. But he loved the game. One of the greatest speeches I've heard, and at the hall, and I finally, can you believe this? One of my fans, I went to an event in Rochester last year, paid for me to go to the Hall of Fame. I was really close to it. Bought me the tickets and wanted me to go. I never been to the Hall of Fame, and I finally got to go because of one of my fans from the podcast. Sent me and my family to the Hall of Fame for a day.
Nice.
It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life, man. It was a highlight for me, big highlight. And like I said, I was in there. I carried bats for guys, Willie McCovey. I mean, these guys like that. I was around some of the greatest pitchers. I mean, you know how many 25 Hall of Famers that you pitched to alone.
Yes.
How is the game different today, mentally, player-wise, coaching-wise, compared to when you came up and played your career? And then the second part to this, would you play in today's game?
It would be tough. It would be tough.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to say this from a pitching standpoint. At the end of the year, well, go back to the last 5 years. How many starting pitchers went over 240 innings?
None. Very many.
Okay. Why? Why is that? If you're a starting pitcher, I was always taught when I took that mound.
Right.
I tried to go 7 innings. If I got to the 7th inning, depending on the score, I went on the rest of the way.
That's right.
But my goal was get to 7 innings. Now, how many guys win 20 games in the big leagues?
Not many.
In the last 5 years.
Not many.
Okay. You go back to the Baltimore Orioles. They had 4 20
Right.
game winners in one season.
That's right.
A lot of times you'd have at least 5 20 game winners in each league.
Right.
Now, go back, look at the game today from a competing standpoint.
Right.
What are the scores of the games that you see nowadays? How many runs do you see scored in games nowadays? You don't see too many 1-0 games. Very
No.
few. You don't see too many 2-1 games.
No.
Very few.
Right.
You don't see no 3-2 games. Very
Nope.
few. You see 6-1, 12-2.
Right.
I think 1 year, a couple of years ago, may have been last year, the Oakland A's walked 17 batters in a 9-inning ball game.
Wow. That's a
How,
lot.
how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
And the strikeouts, which means nothing.
Yeah. I agree.
So there's a lot of stats that are not taken into consideration.
Right.
So when I started, your ERA told the league what kind of pitcher you were.
That's right. That's right.
Your batting average told the league what kind of hitter you were.
That's right.
That's not even considered today. Why is that? Why is that?
I don't. Did you when they came up with the Bill James theory, everything with the numbers and the computers, and it didn't matter. All we mattered about guys getting on base. It didn't care how they got. I mean, it was very complicated to me. I think I don't know.
Well, that's fine. Your job is to get on base.
Right. Correct.
When you come to the plate,
Right.
every time you come to the plate, you got 3 options. Every time you come to the plate, 3. If you're leading the league, leading off in that inning, your job is to what? Get on base.
Get on base. Right.
Error, hit by pitch,
Right.
walk, base hit, doesn't matter.
Right.
Get on base.
That's right.
If you come up to the plate and you got runners on base, what is your job? Move the runners.
Runners over. That's right.
Runner on first base, move him to second.
That's
Runner on second base with a leadoff double, move him to third. Why?
Right.
It gives you a 70% chance of scoring that run.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, you're also playing a game that's 70% failure rate.
Right.
That's hard to overcome in the
Right.
mind of a human being, because if you have an 8 to 5 job and you fail 70% of the time, do you have a job?
No.
Thank you.
No, you don't. No.
You don't have a job.
Right.
Baseball, you still have a job.
That's right.
Get a raise and
That's
go
right.
to the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Now think about that.
I do. I agree.
That's tough.
That is tough.
You take an 8-year-old kid, a 9-year-old kid. He can't throw a strike. You got the coach hollering at him.
Right.
He's out there crying, bawling.
Right.
He don't have the mental toughness yet.
No, he don't. No, you're right.
He don't have the mental stability yet. He's just trying to have fun, and he's not succeeding at his craft.
Right.
So how do I handle that? And that's what coaching has brought into my world.
Right.
I had to learn how to deal with that mindset.
Sure.
And that's why I do it at a young level. I started at age 6 because I want to develop good habits in that mind.
Of course.
When they get to high school, they are ready to coach themselves.
Right. I agree. Who are some of your favorite teammates that you played with, and who are some of the guys that you just didn't care for, but you showed them the respect that you gave them?
Some of the guys some of my teammates that really brought me along. Jose Cardinal.
Good guy. Underrated player. Good guy.
Underrated player. Billy Williams.
Yeah, Billy was a good guy too.
Fergie Jenkins.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill Madlock.
Yep. Dog. Yep.
The dog. Jim Tyrone.
Yep.
Chris Chambliss.
CC. Yep.
Jim Cott.
Jimmy Cott. Yep.
Okay. Willie Randolph.
Good guy.
Kurt Ford.
Another good guy.
Okay. Louis Tiant.
Oh, well, now Louis, I spent some time with him a few years ago when he started the cigar line. I had the best time in the world, Louis. Was he there with you when we had the event?
Yes.
Yeah.
I rode to the ballpark with Louis Tiant every day because we
That's
stayed in Hackensack, New Jersey, and I rode to the ballpark with him every day.
Funny guy. Loved him.
And I'm just going Mike Heath.
Yep.
Ricky Henderson.
Yep.
All right. Dwayne Murphy.
Wayne Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Carney Lansford.
Connie Lansford, another good guy.
Okay. Ted Simmons.
Yep.
Cecil Cooper.
Cecil, CC, yep.
Ian Ogilvie.
Ben Ogilvie, yep, another good guy.
Pete Vukovich.
Pete Vukovich, I remember Vuk.
Yeah, won the Cy Young in '82 with an
82
18
with the Brewers. With the Brewers.
Yes.
Yep.
So these are some of the guys that I was really close with.
Right.
But the guy that really developed me as a professional athlete was Jose Cardenal.
He's to me probably the number one underrated guy ever. And you look at his stats. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's got some stats, man.
He can hit. Yes.
Jose could hit.
Yes.
And you know what? Right now, Joe, I have the privilege and to still. He lives in Bradenton, Florida. I go down and we get together for lunch.
Still speak broken English?
Still speaks pretty good English now.
Yeah, good guy.
Another good teammate of mine was Daryl Knowles and Bobby Locker.
Daryl, how's Nosey doing?
I just had lunch with him today. I just had lunch.
When he was the field coordinator with the Phillies, he used to break my balls every day.
Boy. Oh yeah, Daryl Knowles. Yeah, and then he was a rehab pitching coach for the Blue Jays before they let him go in 2020. I was a rehab coach for the Phillies.
I remember that.
So
yeah,
we've stayed in touch, and I've been able to stay in touch with these guys. Some of my adversaries that I competed the hardest against: Dusty Baker,
Dusty, good guy.
Reggie Jackson,
yeah, Reggie.
All of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Ron Say,
yeah.
Bill Russell,
Garvey,
all of them. Yeager,
Steve Yeager, yep.
Pete Guerrero,
yep.
Kenny Landrum. Oh, yeah. I competed hard against them.
Yeah.
And the guy that I really, really loved getting out was Farley from the Montreal Expos.
Farley.
He was a first baseman, left-handed hitter. What's his name? I can't think of his name, but man, he would battle. And another guy that I really enjoyed competing against was what's his name? He was with the White Sox in the Hall of Fame, left-handed pinch hitter, DH.
Hall of Famer.
Yep. I just saw him at the Hall of Fame this past weekend. I'm losing my mind. I can't think of everybody. No.
Hey, you're old, a lot older than me. You got me beat by 15 years, but I lost my mind years ago.
I can see his face right now.
Oh, what's his? Not Greg Luzinski.
No. Greg was with the Phillies.
Yeah, I know he was with the Phillies.
I wasn't pitching against him when he went to the White Sox. He was a left-handed black guy, left-handed hitter, Hall of Famer.
Oh, what's his name? Oh my God, I got to tip my tongue. Rich Allen?
No. Rich Allen was right-handed.
That's right.
Yeah, he was left-handed hitter. Oh my God,
I can't think of it.
Anyway, it'll come to me after I get off the phone.
Yeah.
But there was everybody came to the plate became an adversary.
That's right.
Because they were trying to get on. Omar Moreno with the Pirates.
He was a good guy.
Willie Stargell.
Yep. Pops.
Rennie Stennett. Boy, those guys with the fear. Richie Hebner. Those guys, man. Gravedigger.
Hacker. What are you doing this winter? I'm digging graves. You want to come work out?
Yeah. Richie Hebner. Piece of work.
Tough. Him and his brother worked with his dad. They dug graves in the winter. That's what they did for a living.
Yeah, that's why we call him Gravedigger.
The Gravedigger, that's right. Hacker. And he was funny. He
was funny. He was funny to love us. He was a low ball hitter, man.
Yep. And he was a tough out. He came through in the club. Another guy that I think never got even. I think he made it on the ballot one time. And Rusty Staub. This is a guy that got 21 or 2,200 hits as a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
And a tough guy. There's a lot of guys that I think were underrated. But Jose Cardenal was my number one pick. Is probably the most underrated player in the game. Yes. That guy did so much for the game, and people don't realize what a great guy he was, man.
And still is a great guy. Still is a great side. Yeah.
That's great. That's good news.
But no, it's been it's been good, and I just wanted to. I'm looking up something here as we talk.
Okay,
Okay,
sure. Yeah, I
because
got it.
I wanna I want to be able to say who I was talking about. Uh, let's see.
And then I
Um,
got a real good question for you.
what you got?
If you could sit down with Satchel Paige or Jackie Robinson for 1 hour,
Yes.
what would you ask them?
For 1 hour,
Yes.
what kept him motivated? I want to know what kept him motivated.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting Satchel Paige in 1974. He was the first base coach for the Tulsa Drillers, which was a AAA of the
Double A. It was a double A team for the
AA for the
Rangers.
St. Louis Cardinals at
Or
that time.
the Cardinals at the time, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I I was out running early, and I saw this guy in the dugout on the third base side. We were on the first base side, and he calls me over. And as I get to the third base foul line, I'm looking at him. I'm saying, man, in my mind, I'm saying, that's Satchel Paige.
Right.
What is he doing here? So I go over to him, and he says, you run like that all the time? I say, yes, sir, I do, because I need my legs to keep me going down that slope, so I don't put stress on my arm. He said, well, don't you know you can't run that ball across the plate? Yes, sir, I do know that. And I'm not trying to run it across the plate. I'm trying to throw it across the plate with something on it. He said, I said, that's my running. And he started laughing. And back in those days, we didn't have iPhones.
No.
Couldn't take a photo.
No.
Oh, my gosh. I would have loved to have had iPhones back in those days, Joe.
He made it to the big leagues at 45, I think, when he made his debut. But
with the Cleveland Indians.
That's right, Cleveland Indians.
And man, he was a showmanship. He was an entertainer.
But
he had confidence. Yeah. He had the ability to tell you what he was going to throw you and strike you out.
He was definitely one of my favorite. And what can you say about Jackie Robinson? There's a guy that came into the era that he drove the path for every young athlete today by his strengths alone of what he endured, and to become loved by all his teammates as they got to know Jackie and how hard he played the game, because all he cared about was putting that uniform on and winning. He didn't care about the individuals. He wanted to win in the big leagues, and he proved that. He was a true leader. I mean,
exactly.
There's a lot of history. I mean, I watched an interview Pete Rose did 24 hours before he passed away. Mm-hmm. And listen, Pete knows the mistakes he made. And I got pretty close with Pete when he became a manager. Right. I got this every time he came in to play. I mean, he was with the Expos. He played for the Phillies. He was always great to the clubhouse guys. Pete was very generous with a lot of, especially the kids in the locker room. He went way above and beyond to take care of you. And we talked a lot of nights. And I even went to the horse track with Pete. I set him up with a box at Sportsman Park because he'd be in the stands and they would drive him crazy. So I knew the owner, and I want to bring Pete out. Every time Pete went out there, he had his own private box.
Right.
But Pete, he knows he made his mistakes. He knows what he did wrong. But I think, and Ray, don't get me wrong, when you first walk in the clubhouse, what's the first rule you see? It's the gambling rule. It's posted right there at the door.
Every door.
Every door you walk in the clubhouse, it's one of the first things they make guys like me put up every year. It's got to be right there if they come in to look. It's there. And Pete made mistakes, but I still am very upset with baseball. You didn't have to let him back in the game, but when they wanted him to be an ambassador, they called Pete Rose, and that's the other thing that when they wanted to bring him to the ballpark for an All-Star game, they brought him. And longest standing ovation in history he had. You know. He was an ambassador. He was good for the game. He knew his mistakes. Everybody knew Pete. Pete was Pete Rose. That was what he was. But I think they should have gave him the Hall of Fame. And his 24 hours, I watched this interview. I caught it, and he died the next day. And they asked him, Pete, about the Hall of Fame. He goes, I told my kids this. This is what he said, his exact words. When I'm gone, not one of you better try to fight for me to get the Hall of Fame. If they won't put me in now while I'm alive, I don't want to be in the Hall of Fame. Because that was what I did, not what you guys did. He told his family, do not try to pursue him. You know, and even Shoeless Joe Jackson, how many years did he suffer? Another guy that, you know,
Right.
So I'm upset. I left the game in 15. Ray, I ain't been in the ballpark in 10 years. I have I keep in communication with the guys that I knew from my day. I've got a lot of great friends. They're kind enough to come on when I can get them on the show. If we maybe once in a while catch a dinner if they're in town.
Mm-hmm.
But the game to me, I didn't care about money, Ray. I made bare minimum in the minor leagues and worked 2 jobs after.
Mm-hmm.
Just being in that locker room with the caliber players like you and the lessons and the joking around and the family, being a family and keeping everything the way we did. The Phillies and the minor leagues with Paul Barrett and all those guys and all the coaches, the Tigers, the fun we had in the locker room. That was for me going to the ballpark every day.
That's life changing, and I went
man.
I went through the same heartfelt emotions like you did.
Yeah,
And I got a chance to hear Pete Rose. They asked Pete Rose what is the one thing he's most proud of, and his answer wasn't the leader in hits. He knew he was going to hit.
right.
He said the one thing he's the most proud of is being involved in 1,970 wins in the big league.
That's right. That's right.
1,970 wins during his career. Think about that.
That's that's a lot of. I mean, he played the game hard. I don't care what anybody
He
says.
played the game to win.
That's right. He did. He did.
So that's what's unique about talking and telling stories,
Yeah.
getting information. That's what I love about the game of baseball.
That's the same thing. I mean, I got in the car. I had neighbors go, "I can't believe you're working a Tiger lot." And I'm like, "Listen to me. They're ordinary guys. They put their pants on like you and I. They're humble. They're fun to be around. Guys are great in the locker room." I had a neighbor that was a fanatic, and I told him his favorite player was what's the big Tiger guy that was the big star for them in the '60s and '70s. What was their
You're talking about
the outfielders?
yeah.
What's his name?
Uh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hold on, man.
Let me see if it's my memory is getting bad too. Famous Tigers. He was an assistant to the general manager and
He never played in the minor leagues.
no famous Tiger players Hall of Famers. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but I just
Al Kaline.
L. Kaline, there we go. So L's in town. He's there with the general manager with the Tigers. I think spring training era they broke.
Mm-hmm.
You went where you were. Bull went to AAA.
AAA, yeah.
Everybody went where they went. I think Mike Rojas was still doing the field. I think he was still in as the field coordinator. I think at the
Mike
time.
Rojas was still there.
Yeah, Mike Rojas, Cookie's son, and L. Kaline's in town. They got about looking at some picture. I think they were looking at some picture that they were wanted to bring up to the AAA or AA to get ready for the big leagues. And L. Kaline was looking at with the gentleman was there, and L was looking at some hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And came into the locker room every day to my office when he walked in and came right to my Joe, how's it going? Everything good? I hope the Tigers are always coming by to say hi, nice guy.
Yeah, he was.
So my neighbor
He was
a fanatic. He had a tattoo of L. Kaline. I said, listen, and this was an older gentleman. He was 10 years older than me. Nice man, lived down the street from me. I said, listen, I asked L. Kaline if I brought a friend out, if you could meet him. I wanted to make sure it was okay. So you're going to go to the ballpark with me. You want to talk about a grown man become a 7-year-old kid again?
Yes.
He followed Kaline all over the whole night, everywhere he went.
He's like, yeah. That's pretty good. Harold Baines was the White Sox I was talking about.
Harold Baines, that's right. That Harold Baines, yes. Good guy. Harold Baines, that's right.
He was a tough hitter.
He was, yes.
Tough hitter. Because he hit the ball all over,
Well, we're gonna. I know you got. We got about 5 minutes, 6 minutes here, Ray, because you said you're probably a little bit over. Let's talk about 2010. I put together this honoring you. It was honoring you, Gerald Laird. My buddy had a cigar shop. You guys were the main feature. Ray Burris was the main feature, and you helped me organize getting all the staff there. We had a pretty good turnout, and we did a pretty good job. But we had a bus pick you guys up at the Tiger Stadium. You remember that bus?
Yeah, a pink bus. I thought I was in a fairy tale. A pink bus. I said, okay, hey, I got to roll with this because it's got wheels and an engine, so it's going to get us over
Oh
there.
my God!
We're going from Lakeland to I
Clear,
19
Clearwater on 19.
Clearwater on a pink bus. I'm saying, Frank Canna, what
Oh
in
my
the
God!
world?
At the last minute, we had a problem with the company that was supposed to come out. So I'm scrambling, and there's the skating ring on 66th Street in Pinellas Park that had school buses that were pink for the skating company. So they were all I could get. And all I remember, I think you called me, whoa, Bull's going to kill you when he gets off the bus.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes.
And here comes Bull. He goes, oh my God. I believe the air went out on the bus.
Yeah.
But
It did.
everybody came up at Davy Owens, everybody,
Oh,
great
yeah.
time. It went very well. We had the cigar companies gave you guys a lot of nice gifts.
Yeah,
The
they
food
did.
was good. It was good talk. We had Louis T out there. I
Yeah.
remember you, me, and Louis sitting there smoking
Oh,
a
yeah.
cigar, having fun. But
Oh, yeah.
those are the days I miss, man. And
No,
again, from the bottom of my heart, you were the guy that I went to. I said, Ray, I want to put this together. What do you think? You said, let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
yeah.
And
We
we
did
did.
it.
We
Two
did it.
years,
And
2 years in a row, we did it.
2 years in a row, I put it together. And
Even when I was with the Phillies, we did it.
that's right. That's right. That's right. And
Yeah.
I listen. There's a lot of great. I didn't know Dallas passed away in 17. I just,
Yeah.
and I know Dallas took a big hit. You know, his granddaughter got killed. You know that, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that was very sad.
That was
She was
tough on it.
very tough. His daughter, I believe, took her to some political active, some lady that she was wanted to get into the politics as a young journalist or something. And his daughter took her to all these politician outings, and there was some cycle there and she was one of the people that got bullet crossed. I know that Dallas Green was everything. From a little boy, I wouldn't have been in baseball as long as I was if it wasn't for Dallas Green and Paul Barrett and Paul Owens
Right.
and Vukovich, John Vukovich. Those are the guys that when I wanted to come back to the game, it was right. You got a job. Come to Clearwater. You go right with the Phillies. We got you.
Right.
And those guys' recommendations when I went to the Rangers. I mean, these were guys that were like fathers to me, man. And then Paul, when Pope died, Dallas, Dallas, he was a big man, very big vocal voice.
Big man.
He was a guy that got his point across. John Vukovich, another guy that passed away at an early age.
Mhm.
A great loss, a great human being. We've been around a lot of things, Ray, me and you, and
Yeah, we have, my friend.
I just
The
for you to take the time to come on and do this with me, I can't thank you enough, buddy. And we're gonna have to have dinner together. We're gonna get together
Absolutely.
in a couple weeks when you let me know your schedule.
Okay.
And we're not far. We'll meet up somewhere and we'll go have some dinner.
I love
And
that. Love that.
I
Thank you.
miss you, brother. I love you like and it's like every time I see you, it don't matter if I didn't see you for a couple years. It's like we just were right back in point. You know what I'm saying?
You just take care of yourself, my brother, and I'm looking forward to breaking bread with you. And thank you for allowing me to go back to yesteryear.
Thank you for being here, Ray. And I'll get in touch with you, and we'll have dinner one night, and
Okay.
let's do our thing, brother. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, brother.
I got nothing but love for you, brother. Thank you. This meant a lot.
Give my best to the missus.
Everybody, the great Ray Burris. Thank you,
All right.
Ray.
Thank you
very
guys.
much.
Appreciate you.
Bye bye.